Hey, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good late night. Facebook Live. Let me get Instagram going real quick. Let's see. Hey, good day, Instagram Live. Let's see. As you are tuning in, I would love to know, as always, Marilyn, nice to see you. Number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for. Today's topic, as you are all joining, today's topic for our 100-day personal performance and business growth challenge for day number 18 is really simple. It's something that, since the weekend is coming, oftentimes I hear people say this phrase, and I don't quite understand this phrase, just because there's so much to do at this point in history. There's so much to experience. There's so many places to go. There's so many people to meet. There's so much available in the world. But from time to time, I'll still get people that say, what do I do if I get bored? How do you handle boredom? And I always laugh. I'm like, wow, that's such an interesting question. But I remember, and I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this, where all of a sudden you're busy. You're working, and you don't have time to be bored. You're just getting stuff done, going places, making stuff happen. And then all of a sudden, your time kind of opens up. And all of a sudden there's space, and you just have this kind of gap. And I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you just kind of stop and look around and don't quite know what to do. And then you sit down and you're not energized enough to go accomplish something that you want to do, like, read a book or work out or do something, but you're not tired enough to go to bed. And it's like this weird moment in between. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that little gap of time, that little moment. And there's usually a list of things you should do. You should meditate, or you should read a book, or you should work out, or you should call someone you love. But you're kind of too tired to do that. But you're kind of not tired enough to go to bed. And it's that weird little space. I don't know if any of you have ever had this space. Give me a little thumbs up in the comments if you have. But what's interesting, it normally happens, and there's specific times this normally shows up. Normally happens on a Friday night for some people, somewhere in the Saturday afternoon or evening, like midday, mid-range. It normally happens Sunday. People start to prepare for the week again. They're busy. They're getting stuff done. There's things they have to do. But in that Friday, Saturday night range, which it is right now, there's some people who kind of find themselves in this place feeling bored. And what's interesting, there's a couple tips that I found are very helpful for this thought process. Number one is if I'd love to know, what do you feel the difference is between sitting on the couch and relaxing versus sitting on the couch and being bored? In the comment section, what would you say? What's the difference between sitting down and relaxing or sitting down and being bored? Because my thought is, what do you do when you're bored? You sit on the couch and you lay back and you kind of don't do anything. But when you're relaxing, you sit on the couch and you lay back and you kind of don't do anything. It's kind of the same thing. And someone just nailed it. It's the mental decision that gives yourself permission to actually enjoy the process that you're in that moment. Because once you decide, I'm going to lie down and I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to relax for 10 minutes, it's really enjoyable. You sit down, you go, you allow your nervous system to relax, you talk to people, or you just sit in silence sometimes, but you enjoy that very moment. You enjoy the presence of just being there. Now, on the other side, what do you do when you're bored? You sit there and think about everything else you should be doing, want to be doing, could be doing, ought to be doing, and you think of everything else except for the very present moment that you're in. Now, some people are saying, I've never been bored. That's awesome. You got lots of stuff to do. Now, a friend of mine, he hit another level that brought him to this moment in life. He was 25 years old, 24, 25 years old. It was right in 2002 to 2005 in the United States. He was very young. He invested in real estate early. He built up a real estate portfolio, and he had enough passive income through rental properties that at 25 years old, he didn't have to work anymore. Like, he did it. He was good. He could literally retire at 25. And I'm not talking like private jets and Bentleys. I'm talking have a good life, a normal life. When we worked together, we talked about automating more parts of his life. So he hired someone to come and cook and clean the house every day. And they loved this person that was there with them every day. And they had this great life, him and his girlfriend, and everything was good. They could travel if they wanted to. They could hang out if they wanted to. There's nothing they really needed except for to just be there in the moment. And I asked him, I said, at 25 years old, isn't there something you're going to want to do with your life or something you're going to want to experience or create? Because aren't you going to get bored? And he started laughing. He's like, bored? Are you kidding me? There's so much I still want to do. I just don't have to work every day. There's still, thousands of things I want to do. And I said, really? And he says, as a matter of fact, I get more done in a day than most people do in weeks or months of their life. And I was like, really? How? Is it because you don't have to work and you just get to go do cool stuff all the time? He's like, not necessarily. He said, I look for every moment that exists that I could squeeze something into. He said, on my phone, I've created this little database, this little list of all the options of things I've always wanted to do. It can be as simple as play hacky sack in a circle. It could be learn a piano song. It could be learn a new language. It could be travel to a new place. It could be learn how to do a handstand. It could be, try to go up and tell a joke to a stranger. It could be learn how to do a magic trick and then do it, go show it to 10 people I've never met before. It's just the most random fun things that he wrote down on a list that said, I've always wanted to do these things. I don't know. Maybe I like it. I'll do it again. Maybe I hate it and I'll never try it again. But I've always wanted to at least try. And he had this list written down, and then he categorized it in the things that would take 5 minutes, things that would take 20 minutes, things that would take a couple hours, things that would take, maybe a day or two. And anytime moments would open up on his calendar, meaning he's at the airport waiting for a flight, the flight gets delayed for an hour. He goes, I've got about maybe 45 minutes. He pulls up his list. He looks at the options and goes, no, there we go. I'm going to try this one right now. And literally every little window of time that opens up in this guy's life, he immediately has something he's dreamt of doing. Now, what's fascinating, when you do something you've always wanted to do, or you learn something you've always wanted to learn, question, how do you feel? Most of us feel more energy, more alive, more excited, more full of life after doing something we've always wanted to do than before, if that makes sense. And so what was landing up happening for this guy was it was like, I don't know if you guys ever played Mario Kart, where there's those little white arrow strips on the ground, and as you're driving, if you run over them, you speed up. It's the same thing, except for all throughout his day, continuously, every single day, he had all these little moments that he would sneak an activity in he's always wanted to do, and it would literally immediately give him more energy and more life in that moment. So he had more energy at the end of every day than most people ever did, because most people are doing what they have to do every day. This guy was doing what he's always dreamt of doing every day, and he just squeezed it into every little moment he possibly could. So my challenge to you, as simple as this is on a Friday, come up with your list. What's everything you'd put on your list of stuff you've always wanted to try or always wanted to do? And then my challenge is start sneaking it into all the little moments of your day as often as possible. Have fun with this, kick some butt, and I'll see you all tomorrow for day number, 19 tomorrow.